These unusual support animals took to the sky, or at least tried to. In 2019, Andrea Hensley went on her first trip with her service animal, a horse named Flirty, after the FAA approved miniature horses to fly.
I definitely say a big thank you to the FAA that now it's official. She won't be pooping on the plane. Everybody can relax about that.
All right, Flirty, ready to go to the airport?
At the airport in Omaha, passengers couldn't believe their eyes.
This is awesome. We love Flirty. She's beautiful.
What do you think about having
Would you like to sit next to a horse on a plane?
Hensley had post-traumatic stress disorder, but was allergic to dogs, so she bonded with the horse.
She can actually accurately predict when I'm going to have an anxiety or panic attack and warn me that it's going to happen, so that way I can take medication. She helps me with my balance if I lose my balance while I'm walking. This is our first time flying.
Okay, well, we're gonna make it as easy as possible. I promise. It's the same rules we have for if someone's traveling with like a service dog. Oh, I gotta give the horse a pat down.
I guess this is the first time you could say I've seen a horse fly.
Once on the United Airlines flight, Flirty made her way to her seat.
Stay over here. Come here.
Flirty was 7 years old and weighed 138 pounds, so there wasn't much legroom. But the horse stayed calm for the entire flight.
Yes, you're a good girl.
I love it.
She did really well. She was really very quiet through the whole flight.
Although the experience was pleasant, Andrea had no plans on making Flirty a frequent flyer.
It is a little bit of stress, but I'm not going to be hopping on a plane just to go, on vacation for fun. I'll stick to driving.
I'm not kidding. This woman is wrangling her peacock into the airport. Right now, wrangling a peacock in the airport.
In 2018, a woman wanted to bring this bird on her flight out of New Jersey as an emotional support animal. She even bought the peacock named Dexter its own seat. United Airlines said in a statement, the animal did not meet guidelines for a number of reasons, including its weight and size. We explained this to the customer on 3 separate occasions before they arrived at the airport. After the ordeal, the peacock and its owner ended up driving to their destination.
1, 2, 3. Good girl.
In 2016, Jody Smalley went on a trip with her pet turkey. Yes, pet turkey. It was a new experience for this Virgin American ticket counter agent, and it didn't take long for her fellow travelers to whip out their cell phones and take pictures.
This is like so cool. I want to show my wife and my daughter.
Then it was off to security where TSA agents got quite a shock.
I've had a parakeet, but not a turkey.
The 25-pound bird breezed past security and then made their way down the jet bridge. Then the turkey literally hopped on board. The bird, named Easter, knew right where to go and headed down the aisle to economy.
No one's gonna believe me. Did the turkey get its own seat?
Oh no, really?
Some scoffed, but for Jody, the trip was genuinely emotional. She had had Easter since she was a chick and never needed her more than at this moment. Her husband died of cancer 3 months prior.
We're going to San Francisco to go spread some of my husband's ashes, and so she's been there for me through all sorts of different things.
Easter sat comfortably in Jody's lap for the 2-hour flight. After touching down in San Francisco, Easter exited the plane like a pro. A wheelchair was then used to transport her through the terminal. This bird certainly earned her wings. In 2018, there were cheers in the terminal when a passenger got booted off a plane because her emotional support animal was a squirrel.
Damn squirrel!
Jim Murray has more.
Frontier Airlines says cops were called because the woman refused to get off the plane after being told squirrels were not allowed, even as emotional support animals.
All the other passengers had to get off too, which delayed the flight 2 hours. So you can understand the anger. They made us deplane because a woman brought a blanking squirrel, one passenger said. A woman was taken off in a wheelchair and made a rude gesture to the other passengers as they applauded.
Someone immediately must have said something to her because she flipped a lot of people off.
The airline told Inside Edition that rodents, including squirrels, are not allowed on Frontier flights. In 2016, Megan Peabody went to Miami with her pet Potbelly pig named Hamlet. The ticket agents at American Airlines were surprised as they looked over Megan's documentation, certifying that Hamlet was an emotional support animal. Megan once battled anorexia and said Hamlet was important to her recovery.
He's ready to go.
Passengers who couldn't believe they'd be flying with the pig took photos.
Hey, Hamlet.
Going through security was a bit of a hassle. But once past security, Megan carried the 70-pound pig up the stairway and onto the plane.
I'm a little bit of a nervous flyer.
Throughout the 2-hour flight, Hamlet made himself comfortable and didn't budge.
Petting an animal helps you relax, lowers your blood pressure, and reduces stress. He is a very clean pig. Pigs like to be clean. He's quieter than most kids. That's fine. He's a great flyer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Miami.
In 2023, an emotional support pit bull named Binky was seen on a 4.5-hour flight from Los Angeles to Atlanta. Fellow passenger Wani Falks told Inside Edition when she got on the flight, the pit bull was actually in her seat.
She said, like, oh, would you mind, like, if my dog, like, took your seat? And it was a full flight. Yeah.
So she wanted the pit bull to sit in your seat. Where did she think you were going to sit?
She didn't care.
Les Trent has more.
Who's ever heard of pit bulls on a plane? The breed has a terrible rap for unprovoked viciousness. In 2018, Delta Airlines banned pit bulls after 2 flight attendants were bitten. But a year later, the federal government overruled that ban, saying that all dogs must be allowed in the cabin regardless of breed. Yes, even pit bulls.
The problem in this case was the pit bull was not in a carrier. A Delta spokesperson said emotional support dogs must fit in a small, ventilated pet carrier that fits under the seat in front of you.
Pit bulls do have a very strong jaw.
We showed the video to New York veterinarian Timna Lee.
They are a larger breed dog, which can be difficult in certain areas like an airplane seat.
I just had never seen anything quite like that before, and I fly a lot.
In 2023, this Great Dane needed not 1, but 2 seats on a 5-hour flight from San Francisco to New York. The original idea was to transport her in a crate and cargo, but she was too big. Darwin weighed 140 pounds and stood 5'8" on her hind legs.
She is larger than the largest crate available, so she does not fit in the plane.
Gabrielle Bogner got permission from American Airlines to bring Darwin on board since she's a service dog. Before the flight, Darwin sprawled out on the floor in the airport, and she said hello to the pilots in the cockpit.
Everybody was absolutely shocked that this ginormous creature was sitting on a plane and was walking towards them down the aisle.
But when the plane took off, she chilled out and enjoyed the flight. In 2015, this dog traveled better than most airline passengers. The St. Bernard mix only flew first class, but getting Hank the Tank to his flight was no easy task.
I got everything that I need. Extra organic raw food for Hank.
Hank weighed 165 pounds due to a thyroid condition. His owner, Carrie Whitman, needed a supersized taxi to get him to the airport.
Lay down, honey. It's okay. I'm gonna sit right here.
The former Playboy playmate took her dog along nearly every time she flew.
He goes everywhere with me. And that's why I made the cart, because I need him with me.
Because he was too overweight to walk, she pushed him on a dolly. He even got through security with no problem. Hank traveled so often,
Come on, Hank. You know this plane.
the crew even recognized the famous canine.
I got so excited to have him on my flight.
He's always been a good passenger with us.
You know where to go. That's your spot.
So why the VIP status? Hank was a service dog. He sensed when his owner was about to have a migraine or seizure, alerting her to take her medicine.
He alerts me. He does this like a cooing noise.
For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.